What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're looking at the top 5 near-death moments caught on camera part 3. Now, coming close to dying is something that could completely change a person and really make you think about how valuable life is. So today we're looking at 5 times where people literally almost died and captured it. So yeah, leave a like on the video right now for good luck and hopes you don't almost die soon too. But anyways, with that said, let's get right into the video. Number 5. Now I've got to be honest with you guys, I don't know if this guy is stupidly brave or just plain stupid, but either way, he's super hard to watch. Like, he and his team have obviously been hired to wreck this wall, but I think he must be the newbie of the group because the way he tries to do it is a disaster waiting to happen. I mean, he keeps knocking out the bricks along the bottom without getting rid of any on the top, so the more he does, the closer the wall is to coming down on top of him. Not just that, but he looks like he's doing it on purpose, and he's planning to just jump out of the way when it collapses. So yeah, obviously that's a ridiculously dangerous idea, but for some reason, no one else on his team tells him to stop. Like, they all just sit back and watch while it gets closer and closer to falling. I mean, to be fair, he does survive when it finally collapses, but only just by a little bit, so I think he might want to find a new job pretty soon.
هذا اللي عملناش حساب.
Number 4. So I have no idea how or why this actually happened, but that doesn't stop it from being completely terrifying. In fact, it's enough to make anyone rethink getting a motorbike. I mean, everybody knows that riding can be dangerous, but this quiet mountain road seems pretty chilled out, and when the accident finally happens, it comes completely out of nowhere. Like, the car in front of him slows down and stops, so he pulls up behind it to wait, and then all of a sudden, a truck flashes by and slams straight into the car. Now thankfully the biker avoids the crash, but only because he was just a tiny little bit off to the right. Like, if he was any more in the middle of the road, then it would have been a totally different story. Now the good news is, it looks like everyone in the 2 vehicles is fine too, but the accident was still way too close for comfort. Number 3. Okay, let's be real, base jumping in a wingsuit is already one of the most dangerous things you could possibly do, but what if you're one of the most daring wingsuit pilots in the whole world? Well, it turns out even professionals get it wrong sometimes, and professional flyer Jeb Corliss's mistake nearly cost him his life. Basically, he got so good at flying close to the mountains that he stopped being scared and pushed himself to get closer and closer to the side of the rocks. This time though, he dipped too low and crashed right into it, which sent him spinning off the cliff and towards the water completely out of control. Now thankfully he didn't die, but he had to go through an insane amount of recovery and physical therapy, and he didn't get full control of his legs back until 6 months later. The really insane thing is though that it actually didn't even stop him from flying, and as soon as he was well enough, he was back in the air. I don't know, I guess it just shows that if you're really obsessed with the sport, even nearly dying from it isn't enough to put you off.
All of a sudden, impact. What's the point? You know, what's the point in what you do? And then I'm like, you know what? Good question.
Number 2. So cliff jumping is obviously dangerous, but sometimes it's hard to forget just how much, and this clip is a pretty terrifying reminder of what can go wrong. I mean, we see kids and teenagers taking the plunge all the time in like movies and TV shows, but it turns out that in real life, it can be way scarier if you're not prepared. So yeah, basically what happened was this diver had squeezed himself into a tiny gap in the rock, but before he could jump, it totally collapsed underneath him. Like, part of the cliff crumbled off and fell into the water, which made him lose his balance, and he was forced to dive with no prep or ability to get into the right position. It gets even worse though, because he actually pulled more cliffs off the rock as he fell, so as he went through the air, the other rocks were falling down on top of him. It gets even worse though, because he actually even hit the cliff face and bounced off as he fell, so all in all, he must have been in pretty bad shape when he hit the water. In fact, if it wasn't for the other diver swimming towards him, there's no knowing what could have happened. Number 1. Now I've said before that cliff jumping is already pretty crazy, but trust me, this guy takes it to a whole other level. I mean, not only did he decide to jump off an insanely high mountain with nothing except a parachute, but he also decided that just wasn't enough and came up with a twist that I don't think anyone else would be brave enough to try. Basically, he rigged up a gymnastics bar on the very edge of the mountain and decided he would swing around it and somersault right off the edge. Sounds like an insane idea, right? Well, that's because it was, and it didn't actually work out the way he planned. I'm not even joking, the bar actually snapped when he put his weight on it, so he went flying off the edge of the mountain with literally no control at all, and only survived because he didn't hit the rock. Like, it happened so fast that it's hard to process, but thankfully he managed to open his parachute. But if he had just been a little bit closer and hit the rock, then he definitely would have died. And there's our video on the top 5 near-death moments caught on camera. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to see whenever I upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to use your extremely handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.